It's time for the B feature.
Boy, Steve, we got some heavy hitters on the front row. Rick Unger from Indianapolis, Shane Carson, one of the good runners, Danny Smith, Bob East. Oh, boy, I'll tell you what, if our man, the Wolf, can make his way through this field, Keith Kaufman, from way in the back, it'll be one of the major feats in sprint car racing history. There's Jack Haudenchild. This field is just dotted with heavy hitters, Steve. Great field, really.
And to find Doug Wolfgang, well, that is going to have to continue to roll to just about there. He is in row number 11, dead last, on the outside of the very last pair of cars, the number 29 car. And we're coming around for a start as they come out of turn number 3, headed into turn 4. That is usually where they see that first hint of green, and the throttles are down. The B feature underway.
And the big pressure race for Doug Wolfgang has already started, Steve.
He is past the 2H car, the black machine of Andy Hillenberg, also the 1J white car of Jamie Moyle, and right there he goes around the 6M red car of Tim Munson. Look at the Wolf, he is on a howl.
He is, as he threads his way through traffic, but the leaders right now, number 10, Shane Carson, 7W, Rick Unger, and in third spot, Danny Smith.
And here again is the 29 car of Doug Wolfgang. Look at him pull right between those two cars. He is trying to get the 20 car. That is Kerry Gray, and if he does, he'll be moved into the 17th position.
So the leaders continue to be Carson, Unger, and Smith, but Wolfgang, running in the back of the pack, works his way up front. There he comes down the front straightaway, going wide, challenging that 20 car of Gray. Can he get him? Oh, boy, is he running hard, Steve.
Well, Wolfgang appears to get the 20 car. That'll move him into the 17th spot. Yes, he's by that orange machine. Next in front of him is Ray Lipsy, and he is no easy pickings, the 45 white car. If he can get by him, he'll be up to 60.
Well, there he goes by Drotz in the 28 car, and right ahead of, no, right by Lipsy, like he is standing still in the 45 car.
And next on his list, 4C, the white machine, that is Todd Bishop. That would be for the 14th position. Let's remember he started in 22nd, and this is a 22-lap race. He's making good progress considering the distance traveled so far.
Right ahead of him are Todd Bishop and Tommy Scott, riding in the 13th and 14th spots, so they are his next challenge. There he goes, right by Tommy Scott in the 74 car for 14th spot. Next in line, Todd Bishop. Can he do it?
Well, he's got a few car lengths to make up here, but look how quickly that car comes off the turns, Brock, just like a rocket. As I said, there's no turbo lag with these 400-inch motors. You stand on the pedal of Wolfgang's motor, and you get action right now.
Down low he goes to take Todd Bishop. He's now in the 13th spot. Ahead of him is the orange number 2 of Jack Haudenchild in the, there he is, Haudenchild in the 2 car, and look at Wolfgang drive up on Haudenchild.
And here's some guys that may hear from the Wolf before this is over. The 12 car black machine of Bob East, and 33 the white car of Joe Garrity. That's the battle there for the 4th position. The 880 car of Keith Kaufman, and black of Jeff Gordon, the 40 machine, that's 6th and 7th respectively.
So a lot of trouble ahead for Wolfgang because some of the really fast runners are up there. As we watch that race go on, there's Garrity in the 33, moves for trying to challenge for the 4th spot.
And in that 4th position is the beautiful black car. That is car number 12, driven by Bob East, and so far he's holding off the veteran Joe Garrity. Not only a fine driver, but a brilliant engine builder. But look at Garrity go by.
So Joe Garrity takes over that 4th spot. And right behind him, the 880 car of Keith Kaufman, one of the best Pennsylvania drivers. Whoa! Moved right in on East and almost touched wheels there as they head through turn number 3. Kaufman moves underneath East to take over that 5th spot.
But East challenges right back on the inside. Kaufman, however, finally asserts himself and will take over that 5th position.
Remember now, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the critical positions here in this race. Only they will advance to the A feature.
And here is 29, Doug Wolfgang. He has now moved up to 10th position and is closing in on 10T, the orange car, Jeff Tuttle. He has got Tuttle. He is now in the 9th spot. And in front of him now is a tough little customer. That is Johnny Herrera in the 45X car. He sees Wolfgang out of his left eye and is going to do his level best to hold him off. But no, Doug Wolfgang has now moved into 8th.
Doug Wolfgang continues this incredible charge. His next target, the 12 car Bob East, the black automobile, as Wolfgang moves under him to take over 7th spot.
Well, he has got 7th and now looks for more. In the 6th position, the 40 car, the black machine of Jeff Gordon. Can he hold off Wolfgang? Can anybody hold off Wolfgang?
That's the big question right now as Wolfgang goes high. Gordon low. Right in front of him, Keith Kaufman in the 880 car. Kaufman and Gordon holding him off briefly, but there he goes by Gordon on the high side. And the next mark is the 880 car, Keith Kaufman.
Let's see what kind of line Kaufman takes to protect his territory. There is no protecting it from Doug Wolfgang. Wolfgang just snips right underneath him as if he never even saw him coming. He's in the 5th spot, Brock.
He sure is, and moving, really moving. Got a clear track right now, Steve, so that'll give him a chance to move up on the leaders. As now he heads down into turn number 1 and moves past a couple of lap cars. That's 6M, Jim Munson, and Bruce Grotz in the white number 28.
Now, as far as our leader is concerned, Shane Carson, the blue 10 car from Oklahoma City, there he is, and right now even he should fear for his position the way Wolfgang is charging through this field.
So Shane Carson continues to lead it, but all eyes are on the 29 automobile as he moves in on Joe Garrity to challenge for that 4th spot. Remember, that is the magic spot. That will guarantee him a starting spot in the A feature. Critical pass coming up here if he can get by. Moves low through turn number 1 and takes Garrity in the 33 car to move into the 4th spot. What a comeback.
And you'd think right now the Wolf would back off. No, sir. The higher he finishes here, if he can finish 3rd, 2nd, 1st, it means he'll start better in the A main if he can continue this kind of pace. So in front of him still is Danny Smith, the 6R car. Wolfgang so far unable to get around him for that 3rd spot. But look at this. He's going to try him on the inside. Say goodbye to Danny Smith.
So Doug Wolfgang into 3rd place and his sights set on the 2nd place automobile. A tremendous drive toward the front as we watch Wolfgang come down into turn number 1. That big, beautiful broad slide. That car hooked up absolutely perfectly.
Brock, I hate to say it, but the left rear tire looks like it's going flat on Wolfgang's car. We saw a left rear tire failing earlier in a qualifying race, and he may be having the same problem right now. It just doesn't look like it's got the right amount of pressure in it. You can see the car listing there to the left.
Well, we got a caution flag as well, but that won't help Wolfgang. There's only a few laps left in this race. It looks, yes, that's Bob East in the 12 car. He is stalled coming off turn 2, so that will bring out the caution flag, but certainly not enough time for Doug Wolfgang to do anything at all to make a recovery here, if in fact that tire's down. It's hard to say, but when he went by here last, it definitely looked like it was soft.
Oh, Brock, it was soft. Now, whether it was so soft, you'll have to change it. Doug Wolfgang coming into the pits, the 29 car. Oh, man, the luck this man has not had this weekend is unbelievable. Wolfgang coming in for a left rear tire. Apparently, it was too far gone to continue. As Bob East's car has moved off the track, Doug Wolfgang's crew is going to work changing that left rear tire. But you know, Brock, with so little time left in the race, it's almost impossible for him to come back. I mean, it would take a miracle, in fact, for him to make it into the A feature now. But the fans certainly are not giving up on the Wolf.
Right now, Shane Carson, Rick Unger, Danny Smith, and Joe Garrity are the guys that will advance into that prestigious feature race, and unless, as you say, a miracle happens for Doug Wolfgang, he's finished for the day.
Well, the field has restarted, only 2 laps to go, and there's only 4 happy drivers out there right now. Those are the top 4, led by Shane Carson in the 10 blue car. They're the only 4 that are going to go to the A main, and that's where the big payoff is in the Coors Knoxville Nationals. Right now, it's Carson, Rick Unger, Danny Smith, and Joe Garrity in that order in the top 4.
So, as this race unwinds, here comes Shane Carson. Final lap in the 10 car from Oklahoma City, and unless he gets it totally crossed up here in turns 3 and 4, he will beat Rick Unger to the line by a substantial margin.
Shane Carson, who does not follow the entire World of Outlaws tour, will take an important checkered flag. Here he goes to the A main. The reason he doesn't run all the races, Brock, as you know, he is the promoter at the beautiful facility on the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds. They run sprint cars, they run lots of stuff there, and not a nicer facility anywhere in the country, not a nicer guy than the man in number 10.
Well, Shane's got to be happy because he moves into that prestigious A main and gets himself a shot at his first ever victory here in the Coors Knoxville Nationals. And remember, victory in that A main coming up is worth right on $30,000. So a lot of serious players are going to run real hard for that, including this man, Shane Carson, as he heads into the pits, taking this well-deserved victory here. So Shane Carson wins it, Rick Unger second, Danny Smith and Joe Garrity move into the A main. Johnny Herrera, a good strong 5th place, but not enough to get him into the big event. And of course, a man absent from this listing is Whiz Steve.
I doubt that any of us can imagine the disappointment Doug Wolfgang feels, a four-time winner, and you know that this crowd was behind you all weekend long, just trying to pull you home.
Well, I race all over the country, but I very seldom race anywhere near my hometown, and this is within 4 or 5 hours of my hometown. A lot of these folks here are my home folks, country folks, and I learned how to drive sprint cars on a weekly basis right here at this track, so a lot of the fans are with me here. It really makes me feel good to come back here.
In that B main, before the tire went down, you looked like you were going to get in the top 4. You had a shot at it.
Yeah, I think we were third at the time, and I was locked down solid. I think we'd have been all right. I actually think if I would have finished, ifs don't count, but I think I could have had a run at the main event even.
You had that much horsepower, that good a chassis setup?
We were, in that B, we were locked in nice. I mean, I don't think the track will change that much from now on out, and we were going real good. Once I lost a little bit of fuel and got some warmth in the tires, I was going to the front there in the B main. Of course, the B main's the B main, it's not the main event, so I felt pretty good right then.
Thanks for talking with us. We appreciate it. We'll see you next year.
Thanks for coming.
Okay.
Well, we're sure glad we did come. Otherwise, we wouldn't have seen that sensational drive by Doug Wolfgang that ended with disappointment, but you can be sure he will be back. All right, as the fans settle in for the last race of the night, remember Steve promised us a feature on his dining habits? How about this?
Well, here's my 4-star dining suggestion while you're visiting the Knoxville Nationals. Come about 50 yards across the street from the campground where you find these great big flaming cookers. Now, Iowa raises a lot of corn, right? Well, they feed it to some of the finest hogs in the world, and look at the pork sizzling up here. 12-ounce pork chops, pork patties, and it all smells so good because the cooker is loaded up with hickory. Oh, I can't resist. I'm going in. This is all done by the Marion County pork producers, and the ladies in here tell me that before the weekend is out, they'll dispense about 3,000 pounds of pork. Let me have a pork chop. Could I? Okay. A little bit later, I'll have some suggestions for what to do after the races. How much is that?
$2.75.
$2.75 for a 12-ounce pork chop?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I could live here.
Good.
How much for the drink?
Quarter more. It's $3.
Can I have a drink?
Sure.
This is unbelievable. I'll tell you what. Even without the great dining and the right next door accommodations, there are few facilities that can hold a candle to the Marion County Fairgrounds during the Coors Knoxville Nationals. Now, we've seen some great racing so far, but coming up is the main event every driver dreams of winning. This is the man, Steve Kinser, on the pole. And Steve, you won this race so many times, but still, it would be special. In fact, if you win it again, you'll hold that record.
Well, that'd make it awful special. I'd be the only person that's won this race 5 times if I can pull it off here tonight. And we got the ideal starting spot. Just hope we can get out in the lead and keep it there all the way.
The competition is saying that you've got maybe a 25 or 30 horsepower advantage over anybody else. You think that's true?
I don't know. Our motors are definitely hitting hard. I don't think we got that much horsepower everybody else. I think just the knowledge of me and Carl working together and been together so many years, we just click things off, and I think we know how to read the racetracks maybe just a touch better. And I'm not saying we're down on any horsepower either.
Good luck on ending this weekend in grand style.
Thank you. I hope we do it.
Okay, Steve Kinser. Brock?
Well, Steve, as the cars continue to warm up out on the racetrack, I'm with Jeff Swindell, who's going to start on the outside of the front row next to Steve Kinser, based on 4th quick qualifying time, a really strong victory in his heat, and a 4th place finish in the feature. But, Jeff, I know you reckon you could have done a whole lot better in that feature than 4th.
Yeah, well, we had to start 7th, and Steve started beside us. We got a good start. We took off. We started running through them. It looked like we were going to go right to the front immediately. About 7 or 8 laps in, we had the thing got real loose. We didn't know what it was. We come in and checked it out. There's a heim that holds the right rear suspension to the axle, and it froze against the bolt. It wouldn't let the right rear suspension work, so it got the car really loose, and it just wouldn't come off the corner. We held on to 4th, and Steve went on to win the race, but you know, it was enough. We got enough points through all the other qualifying events, and so it put us on the front row outside. That's really the place we want to be for the feature tonight.
Well, I know that Tommy Sanders and the guys from Gambler tell me that you all worked on the car and you figure you got that sorted out now.
Yeah, I think so. Tommy and Charlie Fisher and them came over and helped me out a pretty good bit. This is a new 87 style car, and I haven't been running very many sprint car races this year. This car is a little different than most of them. So there's a few little pointers that they kind of showed to me that Steve and Doty and a bunch of the guys are doing. So it's helped me out a lot, and I think they've been a big asset.
Well, we're going to be watching